I think my upbringing and my first marriage have made me a cheat. Of course, this doesn't justify my actions in any way. But I grew up watching my dad and uncles cheat on their wives and girlfriends. And I'd hear my mom and aunts say things like, "It's men's nature," or "Men are naturally polygamous." I refused to believe it and hoped to meet the love of my life whom I would never cheat on and who would never cheat. I didn't even date until I was sure. I met my first partner during our first year in university, and it was perfect. We got married 7 years later, and after 4 years of marriage and 2 kids, I found out that they had been cheating on me with about 3 APs starting from the 4th year of our relationship before marriage. Their excuse was that they stopped being attracted to me, but still loved me. I was crushed. I stayed in denial for a long time. I almost went mad. The divorce was the worst time in my life, and I didn't even get to ask for it first. They asked for it to go and marry their AP at the time. Anyway, that was a long time ago. I healed from it, or so I thought. I'm now married to the kindest person in the world, the most open and sincere person I've ever met. But I just couldn't shake the thought that they would cheat on me out of my head. So I decided to do it first so I won't lose the second time. I have to be most foolish person on earth. BP is a mess now. They've been so paranoid. I see them question their worth with every single action. Like I see BP just drift off and freeze while playing or chatting with the kids. And I get it. D-Day was so messy. BP caught me in the act in AP's office because they came to see me at work and my coworker told them I was in there. In AP's office. AP is my supervisor and is a 3 times divorced guy in his late 50s. We didn't lock the door that day. AP's secretary let BP in without notice. I know my coworkers planned this and I don't blame them. I will never forget the look on my BP's face. I think of ending my life every time I replay that look. BP hasn't looked at me since that day. It's been 2 months now. I don't know if there's more for me to do to help this. I don't know if this can even ever be saved. But BP hasn't said anything about divorce. I even suggested it at a point. I told the MC that I would understand if BP decides to end our marriage. And BP shut me up right there without looking at me. We've been going for counseling for 3 months now, and BP has finally told the counselor that they want things to be as normal as possible for the kids. We have 2 together and 2 from my previous marriage. I have confessed every single thing to BP. I have been patient. I don't try to force them to talk to me or do anything. I've quit my high-paying job so I never have to see AP again. I've changed my number because it was an LTA, and AP won't stop calling. BP talked about moving to another town, and I have accepted. But I'm really worried about their mental health, and they have refused the advice of our MC to see a therapist. I have avoided seeing one too, because I believe BP needs it more than I do. I find it pretentious to start seeing one before them. I can't believe I let myself become the evil I feared and hated all my life. I blame no one but myself. But this made me realize that I had been wired to make this mistake without knowing. I'm definitely unwired now. I don't care what I grew up seeing or hearing. I don't care what I experienced in my first marriage. What's wrong is wrong, and that's all that matters. I've learned my lesson. I just need to know if there's something more I can do to help BP through this. Story 2. Happier now that she's out of the house. I've been lurking for a few months here and wanted to post something. I've been holding off because it seems so complicated, but maybe it's not. She asked for an open relationship last summer. She started dating, and I struggled emotionally but went along with it. Then in January, she said she wanted a divorce. We have 2 kids, 5 and 7. We have a house with some equity, no savings, and a lot of debt. We also live with her grandmother, who's 87, pays rent, and lives in a separate wing of the house. I could go on, but the basics of it are, I tried to make it work, and am still willing to make it work. She says she loves me, but she's not in love with me, and she needs more space for her spiritual development. I think it's just simplest to call it a midlife crisis. She's 35 and I'm 38, and I'm upset, but I'm not fighting it. I've already spent months and months dealing with the pain and anxiety of her being with other people, and that's prepared me for where I am right now. The kids are with me, and Grandma is with me, and the dog is with me. Between work and travel and her dating, she's been gone a lot the last 6 months, and that's what this feels like a continuation of. We've done fine without her and will continue to do just fine. What's been strange to deal with is my feelings. Even as I say I still love her and would take her back, there's a part of me that's happy she's gone and feels like a weight has been lifted off my chest. I don't have to be beholden to her feelings anymore. Don't have to worry about upsetting her, and don't have to worry about structuring my life around her. I'm reading the posts on here. You see how all relationships have give and take, some more so than others. For me, I've always been giving, so much so that I think I lost a lot of my own identity and that of my family. I love taking care of my kids, but I did everything not just because I love them, but to make her life easier. And even when I would spend all day working and all night taking care of the kids, I would still go out of my way to do nice things for her. And even now, I still don't think she appreciated it all. Actual divorce is so far off, if only because untangling ourselves financially is such a massive task. We're still friendly. She still has a lot of stuff here and is still coming over. I've been over her house. We've still been having sex, on and off, which as I've read here seems to be a normal thing. And the kids are the absolute most important thing to me, and we've had no issues there so far. They're taking it well. For them, Mommy just has a new house. At first, I was so protective of the kids that her asking me if the kids could do 2-3 nights a week at her house made me upset. But my logical brain kicked in and has made me realize how much this can be a win-win. The kids have hardly spent any time with Mommy the past year, and now she has to be proactive about it. The mommy time is good for them, and the free time will be free time I haven't had for myself since before the kids were born. This isn't what I wanted at all, but every night when I put the kids to bed and she's not here, I feel more and more content. Update: divorce is a test of character and we can do this. We're all not perfect, but we can strive to be. Some of the stories I read here involve truly awful exes and vindicating, manipulative, and nasty behavior. And that's the easy way. Revenge is easy and forgiveness is hard. But particularly when you have children involved, as I do, you have to try and work to separate cordially for the sake of your kids and the sake of your own soul. You want your divorce to be a negotiation, not a knockdown, drag-out war. I'm just getting stared with this process, and every interaction, every discussion, I try to think about what's best for my kids first. And has worked so far. They've been with me 75–80% of the time, but me and my ex have been accommodating, particularly if the kids, mostly my 5-year-old daughter, wants to switch houses or stay with the other at the last minute, when possible. And I know being cordial isn't possible for everyone. Some of you have to deal with awful, truly evil people. All I can say is, don't let a relationship with a monster turn you into one too. That doesn't mean don't go after what you deserve. Particularly if you've been a stay-at-home parent, you deserve alimony. Your kids need child support one way or another. Make use of these tools to deal with a difficult person, but just remember that these are tools designed to lift you up and not weapons of revenge. This sub has helped me so much because it's helped me realize how blessed I am. Yes, my wife is leaving me, and yes, I think she's a little crazy, and yes, it hurts. But she's not evil, and in terms of parenting, she has put both the kids and me before whatever she might want. There's still a part of me that wants to lash out, and I try and recognize that behavior before it happens. It's hard. Divorce is hard. Life is hard. But for the sake of our own souls and for the sake of our loved ones, we have to try and do the right thing. And please, no one take this at all as a judgment of people in pain and people suffering. I get it. Work on healing yourself as hard as that is, and know there's a lot of love here on this sub. I can feel it all the time. It sounds like you're handling an incredibly difficult situation with a lot of grace and self-awareness. Divorce, especially with kids involved, is never easy, but your approach to putting your children first and striving for a cordial separation is commendable. It's great to hear that you've found some peace and contentment, even though this isn't the path you wanted. You're absolutely right that divorce is a test of character. The fact that you're focusing on what's best for your kids and not letting bitterness take over speaks volumes about your integrity. It's not easy to resist the urge to lash out, especially when you're hurting, but recognizing those feelings and choosing to act differently is a huge step towards healing. It's also good to see that you're finding time for yourself and rediscovering who you are outside of your marriage. That's so important, and it's something that will only benefit you and your kids in the long run. It's clear that you're doing everything you can to make this transition as smooth as possible for them, and that's something to be proud of. Stay strong and keep focusing on the positives where you can. Divorce might be tough, but with the mindset you have, you're going to come out of this stronger and more grounded. Thanks for sharing your journey. It's an inspiration to those of us navigating similar challenges. Now for comments. Hey, it's okay to miss her. It's perfectly normal. But remember, it is now in the past. Those are now only memories for you to keep in your head, and the love you have for her will always remain, but no longer cause she is not the same person you fell in love with. Just treasure those memories as it was and keep moving forward. Always remember she left you when you needed her most. She chose to exit while leaving you alone to find yourself. Do exactly just that and find the happiness within yourself, because you are a lovable person and caring, obviously. You're meant to find someone who loves you tirelessly, same way you loved your ex-wife. I am sorry this is so hard for you, but I know with time, all wounds heal and all broken hearts gets patched up, and your broken heart will become whole again. Take care. Take